We are talking about the movie Another Soul. This one written and directed by Paul Chow, a low-budget family possession film. Now the story here focuses on a young family, a father, a mother, and their kind of teenage daughter. And they have essentially moved to this kind of new area after they've kind of run away for some type of debt. The father's had some kind of health problem. We learned that he had some problems with his kidneys. And they've obviously got into some debts because of it, and they're running away and kind of hiding out in this small American village or town somewhere. However, their daughter seems to be exhibiting some type of strange behaviour, and the father decides he's going to kind of put up cameras in the house to try and figure out what's going on. And they are approached by a couple of people claiming there may be some kind of supernatural elements involved, and it may well be the daughter is possessed by some long dead demon. So that's your basic setup of the story. What do we think of Another Soul? This is a very low budget film. It doesn't really offer anything new to the genre. It's nothing that you haven't seen if you're a horror fan probably 50 times before. Does it do anything differently? No, not really. I mean, it does try to have a couple of story elements that make it not quite as typical in regards to the plot. We do actually see a creature, a kind of a guy in a suit, which we tend to do as much in possession films. So it's kind of mixing a possession film with a kind of a sort of creature feature towards the end. So maybe that's the only thing I would say that kind of maybe sets it apart maybe from a lot of the other kind of the movies. There's not really a hell of a lot to say. I think the acting is okay. I quite like the idea of the kind of the cameras, but there's some just ridiculous plot points. I mean, for example, we see that this girl is acting up, and the family, the mother and the father, clearly acknowledge something strange is going on. But when they are approached by these two kind of paranormal investigators, they kind of blow them off as crazy people, which I found a little bit bizarre. And then later on in the film, for example, just for another kind of small example of just silly things, we're told in the movie that on the 18th birthday of this girl, bad stuff's going to happen, and they're essentially going to stay up in the night and kind of watch this girl on the cameras. But they decide to take it in shifts, and all but one of them are staying up to watch these cameras and think, it's one night. It's kind of like, it's not as if you've been up for weeks and weeks and you're all dog-tired. It's one night. I mean, surely it's not that hard for all of you to kind of stay up like that. You sleep in shifts, especially if your 18-year-old daughter can be possessed on a demon that very night. Oh, get some shut-eye. Ridiculous. So there's some really kind of like stupid little kind of like story beats that kind of don't make sense. When we actually get to our kind of our climax, I suppose, our last act, I was surprised how long the actual exorcism portion of this movie goes. It seems to go on forever, and we do see kind of like lots of kind of like running around in the woods and kind of like the demon kind of trying to kind of get its own way through one means or another. The creature effect doesn't look too bad, I would say. The kind of the guy in the suit actually looks like a fairly decent kind of makeup job, but it just looks like a guy in a suit. The movie is criminally underlit, however, so for a lot of this film, it just looks like a very dark screen. You can't really see what's going on, and I appreciate, obviously, it's the night, but nonetheless, it doesn't make for a great viewing experience if you simply can't see what's going on. It's just a bit of a cheesy film. It offers really nothing new of the genre. It's okay for really, but it just seems to drag on, and because the characters don't seem particularly interesting, you ultimately become a little bit bored. It's not the worst example of this type of film I've ever seen, but ultimately it's probably not worth, if you are have limited time, then to check this one out, but it's okay. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. If you've seen it, what did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.